That's right. It's the Air Force Veteran Intel Specialist, the one you call on when you need to get the job done, and your friendly neighborhood red dog. And that's right, because if Chaz isn't here to do the cold open, that must mean one thing, and you know what that means. So, you guys at home, say it with me. It's Red Dog of Friends. Hawaii.
Warning: the following program is a collection of idiots talking about the happenings in the sports entertainment world. It is meant to be comedically informative. The opinions expressed on this show does not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their bosses, or the Infinite Plus network. There may be some out-of-pocket things said on this show because this is how we talk to each other. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further. Your homies, the 3 Count Podcast. P.S. Please don't sue us.
Hit him with a 3 count. Pin him to the ground and the crowd go wild, man down, nobody out.
It's not even this show today. That's right. Hi, it's your friendly neighborhood Red Dog, and this is Red Dog and Friends.
No one told you life was gonna be this way.
So what's up, everybody? What you don't know is that while we were getting ready with the Friends theme song, my man right here to the side, we both did the Friends class at the same time.
I have watched every episode of every season.
Yo, that is funny as hell. Hey, yo, but you know what this is. I know the banner up here says Chaz and Friends. I haven't made one that says Red Dog and Friends because, you know, I just don't care. So when we hit the repeat and we go, yo, it's your nephew, your cousin, your brother, your best friend. Nah, I don't remember his thing. I just don't. He does his own thing. But no. It's Red Dog and Friends, and today. It's been a while since we've actually done a live show, so I mean it's been a couple weeks. So you know we wanted to come back and talk with y'all. I know the last show that we had our greatest wrestlers since 2000. You know, it was a great episode. We got a lot of feedback from you guys, especially I've heard from a bunch of people tell me that they didn't even know who our number one person was, and there's like we know John Cena, but we don't know this other person. So you're gonna have to go through, listen to it, and you guys can check out who our number one person is. But more important, let's get into this intro, right? So as you can see, it is just me and this man right here. He is the one that you need to worry about because you know what? Sometimes at home, he come a knocking if you don't like his opinion. He is Lord Twitch of the House of Graves.
I am the uncle that your parents warned you not to hang out with.
No, I would assume that for just
Totally.
Yeah, not
General
for
purpose.
those reasons though.
General
Just like,
purpose.
yeah,
General
yeah.
purpose. I'm a very bad influence.
Yeah.
Just to clear that up.
Just real quick.
Yeah,
Just
you know.
no thoughts.
Nope. Get your minds out of the gutter, people.
Yo, but no, and as you know me, I'm your friendly neighborhood Red Dog, and as you can see, my beautiful trophy sitting right here. Shout
That
out
is
to
beautiful.
SWA. Yeah, I love it. So I'm glad. You know, Night Miss Cup winner, right? There's only been 5 of us, and I am the 5th, so it is cool. Also, you can see that title too right there, the SNW title, just hanging out too. What you guys probably noticed, the new one that's right here. Shout outs to my wife, you know, for letting her sea lions do painting, and that's what that is right there. So I was like, yo,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, I was like, yo, that's nice. I like that. Um, no, we're gonna get into these intros announcements. As you guys always know, you guys go through, follow us on all of our social media platforms, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to us now, you should be. Check us out on Facebook. Go ahead and follow us on all of the social media platforms. Hold on real quick as I pull those up because I know this is different now because normally we have 3 of us. We can. Bam! There they are. You guys can follow us at TikTok. You guys can follow us on Instagram. You guys check us out on Threads at 3 Count Pod, or you guys can check us out on X/Twitter, whatever you guys want to call it. Right? You guys can check us out there. Big shout outs to 3 Count _pod. You guys check us out on Amazon. You guys can check us out on that dumb app with the stupid jingle that goes iHeartRadio or whatever it is. You guys can also check us out on foryourwear.com. Pick up our merch there. You can check out our merch on prowrestlingtees.com because, we like to put all our stuff everywhere. Everywhere?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Um, yeah, and then also you guys don't forget to go check out when we come up with new episodes of the Villains Lounge, always available out there. You guys can check those out. And then don't forget to check out Now Entering the Ring. This week we do have a new episode coming out. I know last week we had Dave Mercury, the technical alchemist. He was on the show. It was really cool having him. So you guys keep coming through, check out all of our stuff. We appreciate it so much. And with that being said, we're gonna hop into one of our favorite segments. Boom, temp check. If you don't know what temp check is, it's simple. It's just our best, our worst, and our match of the week. So best wrestler, worst wrestler of the week, or coldest wrestler of the week, and then our match of the week. So Twitch, shout out. What do we got going on with our hottest, coldest, and match of the week?
My hottest wrestler is Bronson Reed. Hands down. That man went from being absolutely nowhere on the card to giving all these people tsunamis every single week. The one he gave Braun Strowman on Monday Night Raw, shout out to that car. He's just, man, the future is bright for this man, and I'm excited to see him getting used to his potential. I call this.
I was gonna say, shout outs to the photographer who got the photo as he splashed and the windows blew out. I was like, that's a great shot.
even with the windows blowing out, but the spark from the lights blowing out inside of the car itself, like that was a phenomenal shot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my hottest is Bronson Reed, hands down. My coldest, and this sucks because I really like her, Michin. I feel like she's just so lost right now. I feel like they don't know what to do with her. Granted, she's in the storyline with Nia Jax right now. After watching that street fight on SmackDown, it really, that's when I think it really hit me, like, they don't know what to do with her. Like, and it's sad because she's a great worker. She's amazing in the ring. It's just, when you have a roster that deep, some people are going to suffer, and sadly, I think right now it's her. My match of the week, out of every match we had from Bash in Berlin, from SmackDown, Raw, NXT, I got to go with Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair versus Fire and Dawn at Bash in Berlin. That was a phenomenal match.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
That's my match of the week.
I like that. All right, well, I'm gonna go. My hottest wrestler of the week, coincidentally, will also be attached to my match of the week because for a person who's supposed to be a heel, obviously they're in Berlin, Germany. Gunther got the biggest pop,
bro.
That crowd and obviously, he's home, so that crowd was electric for that man. And it's hard because this man comes in, he puts in work week after week, and just it kind of goes under the radar. We talk about it, but for the most part, it goes under the radar. People don't really put him out there like that. But he does it, man. He just comes in, he puts in his work, he does all the things they ask him to do. The man is just, he's on fire, and I can appreciate all of it. So,
going back to your reference of his pop, would you say that was greater than AJ's in France? I believe it was.
I think decibel levels. I think it was higher decibel level, right? It was 120 to 112 or something like that. I mean, I'd have to, but yeah. I mean, the pop in France was massive. But yeah, it's once Ludwig reached for the microphone, that crowd
was a rap
crazy.
Who's your coldest?
I mean, they're not here to say it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say it for them. Bam! This man right here. If you guys don't know, it's a picture. Those who listen on the podcast side of things, it's a picture of Chris Jericho. it's just there. The learning tree. I like the learning tree. My problem with the learning tree though is that I know it's gonna flip. It's gonna flip. The
Yeah.
crowd's gonna go electric for it. They're gonna want the learning tree. They Chris Jericho, he just knows how to do his thing. But right now, I'm just like, well, you just lost the FTW title. Shout outs to Hook.
Yep.
So now that you've lost, for the world title. to Hook. Like what? I mean, what are you gonna go do now? Where are you gonna go next? Like what happens next? So I'm just gonna give it to him just because it's also him. My match of the week though, it's been tough because we've been gone for 2 weeks, and I originally was like, yo, after last night, Gunther and Randy Orton should definitely be my match of the week. But seeing how we didn't have a show last week, it's hard for me not to say Swerve and Daniel Bryanson. Like, oh my god, bro, Bryan Danielson and Swerve was so good. It was so good.
I have zero complaints about that match. Zero.
My only complaint is that Swerve lost. That's my complaint, but that's so minute because it's like you kind of knew what's gonna happen. Like I
This
just
was
feel
one
like,
of those matches, in my opinion, that no matter who won, we won.
yeah. My problem though is that I feel like Swerve has had the shortest title reign of all the champions outside of CM Punk. And I think that kind of bothers me a little bit. Like it used to be like you had these like long title reigns with these wrestlers, and it just kind of feels like Swerve was legitimately a transitional champion for
He
Brian.
he definitely never got the opportunity. I feel like
No,
I feel like he's one of those people that could have made that belt more versus the belt making the person, but
yep.
he wasn't given the opportunity. They had too much going on to actually give him that proper come up with that belt, I feel.
I think my biggest problem was that like even on the cards, right? Like they'd be like Brian Danielson, MJF, and then like in the bottom like left corner you see like, oh, and here's Swerve.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, that's your champion. Like, what you mean, like, and Swerve? You know what I mean? Like, it's and Swerve. Like, that man's name should be in the spotlights. Like,
That man should be on the center of every poster.
every poster, without question.
It's like,
So, I don't know.
it's a shame.
I get it, right? Because now you kind of like Brian Danielson has to stay around, has to defend that title, right? But what did you do with Swerve? You just stuck him right into the same spot with Hangman Page. Like,
Yeah.
I
He
don't
really
like it.
did get the Hangman Page treatment.
Yeah, and it's like okay, cool. So now him and Hangman are gonna be doing the cage match at All Out. Sweet, I guess. I mean, I'm down for it because this is kind of a nice blood feud that we just kind of needed. But it's like, I was like, I don't know, man.
Where do you go after that? Like,
Yeah, like I get it. Like we've done a few like we've done like the regular wrestling match, and we've done the last man standing match. Now you've done the cage match, and it's like they've done blood and guts. You know what I mean? And like
yeah.
you've done tons of matches with these guys, tag matches. Like, yeah, I'm cool, but you had this cage match. What you gonna do now? And
Time will tell.
and why taking the title off of him just so they can run this match, and then who did you get Brian Danielson? Like you gave him Jack Perry, and I'm not saying anything wrong with Jack. Jack is the TNT champion, but my problem is it's just that we just Swerve and Hangman in a steel cage for the AEW title gives me more incentive to want to watch that pay-per-view than Jack Perry and Brian Danielson in a regular wrestling match. And I'm not trying to say like I know they're going to tear it down. I'm just there's something else to it.
Yeah, if anything's going to make me want to buy that show, it would have definitely been Swerve and Hangman for the AEW championship.
Yeah,
Brian's
they're gonna
Brian and
go dumb.
Exactly. Jack Perry and Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, whatever you fucking know him as. I feel like I already know the outcome of that match, and I should know the outcome of that match. I hope that's the right outcome of that match, but I
And
that poor title. That's all I can really
yeah,
say.
and I mean, like, especially with AEW, you know, I forget who I was watching talk about it, but it kind of made sense that you bring in someone like Ricochet, and he just shows up, and what did you do with him? They, I'm not gonna say, and he's in the right position. You're gonna tease the Will Ospreay match, but my problem is like, yo, now you have Pac. You have the Bastard Pack like involved in this situation, so it'll probably be, Pac, Will Ospreay, and Ricochet. Which by all means, it's gonna be a fly ass match.
Oh
But
yeah,
it's like, uh, nah, I would have wanted to hold back and then debut Ricochet on Dynamite against Bryan Danielson for the AEW Championship, just to show that
that
he's
would have
right
been
here.
so much better.
Yep, and it is. I'm appreciative. Like I know we're gonna get this fly ass match with Will Ospreay and Pac and Ricochet at All Out, but man, we could have done so many more things outside of that. That Will Ospreay match and Ricochet, we know that match is gonna tear down. You get a Full Gear, Revolution, Double or Nothing next year. Like,
Do you? I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Do you think AEW keeps Ricochet relevant, or do you have a timeline where you just see him falling to the wayside?
yeah. Unfortunately, I just see him falling to the wayside. Like, I don't want to be negative on AEW because like they do a lot of great matches, but my problem is that every wrestler that they get, they just kind of lose, right? Like the House of Black. Like, we
Man, that
love the House of Black. We're here for the House of Black. We love the House of Black. But man, it just seems like another group in AEW, like another
thank
faction.
you. Thank you. That is the best way to describe it, because I have been one of the biggest supporters of AEW on this show to fight off Damien being wrong and hateful towards it. Uh but it's things like that, the missed opportunity with the debut of Ricochet on Dynamite and building off of something like that. It's things like that that make me go, God damn it. Maybe some of these people are right. Maybe this isn't really like, and maybe it's just bad timing. I don't know. But like you were saying, House of Black, it just, I have said this from the beginning. At some point or another, Tony Khan is going to have to stop hiring people.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. Here's a perfect name of somebody that we love. That I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know if they're injured. I don't know if they're just written off of TV for a little bit. But where's Miro?
Bro,
Where's Miro?
wholeheartedly,
This man,
wholeheartedly.
this man is your redeemer, your destroyer, whatever you need him to be. This is your guy.
We
And
ain't
like
seen that man in months.
since Andrade left,
Yeah, yeah.
since the whole turn with CJ and Andrade turning, I know Miro is going through his divorce right now with CJ. I know, right? And I don't know if it's finalized. I don't know that, right? I just know that it's happening. But man, like, what a dude, what a guy, man, to be able to like watch him work and do his thing, and like, yo, he's just not around. Like, did his contract run out? Is he like, what's he doing? You know what I mean? It's hard. It's hard for me to watch someone like him just not get
Fade
used.
away.
Yeah. So
Literally,
that's why I
like,
worry about Ricochet, because when I look at Keith Lee, and I know
I
Keith has
know
bad knees.
I know he's off filming uh another season for Twisted Metal and shit like that. But like, Samoa Joe for the longest time worried me about getting the Miro treatment. Uh and it just, man, Tony Khan, if you're watching this, you better bring fucking Miro back. Hunter, if you're watching this, you better pick him up.
Yeah, we just
Like
and the thing,
wholeheartedly.
and we don't say this to criticize AEW. We know that AEW wants to have like their wrestlers in place, but like, man, like you have so many dynamic wrestlers that like we just want to see them succeed, right? I love the Righteous. I like that they're on ROH, right? It's kind of a nice little shout out to them. But I would love to see more with the Righteous in AEW, right? Put them in the tag division, let them
Yeah.
run, right? Talk about another team that should be Shane Taylor Promotions. I know I'm a Shane Taylor stan. I say it all. I don't give a damn. But Shane Taylor Promotions, like Lee Moriarty and Shane Taylor, should be running roughshod in AEW on Dynamite, not on Rampage, not on Collision, on Dynamite. You want a heel team that can talk, that is just like a contrast of different styles. Like, look at Lee. Lee can do everything. Look at Shane. Shane is a powerhouse. He's a brawler. He's great on the mic. Like, you have this perfect team you could bring up and just let them run roughshod. But yeah, my problem, to go back to your point, my problem is with Ricochet. I feel like Ricochet is probably gonna have like 2 or 3 really good matches, and then that's it. He's just gonna fade off. And I know he signed reportedly signed a multi-year deal, and I'm worried about that multi-year deal because sure you can get your stock put back up for a little bit, but I mean, look at Miro. Miro's stock is just we don't even see him. Aleister Black, right? Malachi Black, wherever you want to go by. I worry about him. I'm just like, damn. I want to see
With
these awesome wrestlers show up and show out.
with the departure of Ray Phoenix and Pentagon, I fear for Pac's future. He's another one that I see having maybe a couple more matches, and then he's back into obscurity.
I think he has a couple of matches because I don't know if he re-signed a new deal.
At least I think he signed like a 2-year deal. I don't think it was long.
Yeah, I mean, we might see him come back in and run roughshod all over the E because King Pac was awesome. I don't care what people say. When they had the cruiserweight division, King Pac was awesome. And now seeing him kind of do his thing, I'm like, all right, cool. We'll see what he does one hand, and then hopefully, I know they put him with the Trios Championship with BCC, which I'm not against that. I kind of like that. Like, he fits because he's a brutalizer, just like BCC. Like, so I don't know what they're doing with Moxley. I'm excited because I'll see that happen. But
that promo
was lit.
That promo was amazing.
Yo, we're gonna jump over here to it's not really our first debate topic. I did put this in as something though, but we're gonna talk about what happened last night at Bash at Berlin because we don't necessarily have to go through every single match. We can talk about the winners and losers, but really, what were the moments that stood out to you?
Punk getting his bracelet back. Let's just jump right into it. Punk getting his bracelet back was awesome to see. It's about time. Now let's get into something more meaningful.
Yeah.
Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair were absolutely on fire last night. Absolutely. And that's not taking away from, Fire and Dawn. They were also amazing last night. Hence the reason for that being my match of the week. Like, I will say the main event surprised me. I did not see a submission being the decisive factor in that. I figured it would have been a clean pinfall or something like that. So that was a giant surprise for me. What about you, man? What did you like from it?
I went back and watched Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes. That opening match was fire. Yep. A lot of good stuff in that match. And I love the fact that we don't necessarily need a person because I think I've been so conditioned with WWE that anytime I see like a wrestler like grab a title and hold it behind the person's head that they're instantly going to change. It's instant heel mode, right? But after this match, like, Kevin Owens, like, obviously, they shook hands, they celebrated, they both walked out together, right? And sometimes, like, that's okay too. Like, to have two baby faces, just like, hey, yo, man, like, we put on this killer match, and you were the better man today. Let's go have a drink.
to see the emotion that match brought out, to where Kevin Owens was torn the entire match on, do I want to be his friend after this? Do I want to be a killer, prize fighter and go for the knee if it's injured, if it's not injured? Like that match, almost for the emotion alone, was my match of the week. But then seeing that tag match, man, just yeah.
Yeah, the tag match was great. I think Randy going to sleep was the right call. I just I mean I sure you could do a pinfall, right? But I think there's something about Gunther wanting to get the win by making him pass out. Because at the end, like he's like, well, you fought everything, you did everything you could do, and that's why he like, I respect you. And then like
Yeah.
they shook hands right there at the end. I think I think that was the right call because you still want to protect Randy, if that makes sense. Like you're like, I don't want him to get beat by him. And I'm not when I say this, I'm not trying to demeanor this, right? But you don't want him to lose to a power bomb, right? Even though I know it's his finisher, but you can always save that for like a WrestleMania or for like a Royal Rumble or Survivor Series or shit, Money in the Bank. You can always run that back. But
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's like right now, just just let Gunther just show off that he can finish anybody any way he wants, whether it's to a sleeper, a big boot, a lariat, or the power bomb. It doesn't matter. He's got so many so many finishers.
There are times throughout since he's become champion, talking about Gunther, that I sit there and I watch him do his promos and I'm just like, damn, this is boring. Like, as a talker, he is boring in my opinion. But man, the moment he just gets in that ring, it's just something about it that just it's hard not to enjoy this.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, he's got so many ways that he can just take you out with so many finishers. It's just, I agree. I think Randy going to sleep is the smart option because you can continue to build on it. You can go a different direction, and it still makes Randy look good.
Mhm.
But yeah, every time Gunther gets in that ring, dude, I'm like, okay, this is why he's champion. This is why I like Gunther.
Yeah, and I think it's beneficial for Ludwig to just kind of be there and be his talker, because like you said, I like listening to Gunther tell the stories that he likes to talk about, but he cut that promo last night after the match. I don't even know what he said, but I was like, there's more emotion in him saying this in his native tongue than there is when he is talking in English. And like that's part of the problem, right? Like Io Sky is getting better at like enunciation and pitch
See,
and tone, but Gunther's just not there yet.
I love when we have these foreign champions like Io Sky, Gunther. I love when they talk in their native tongue, and you have to have a translator there. It's just something about like Io Sky when she was shooting her promos and just going off in all Japanese. Something about that made me feel like, okay, this is more of a real person than a character.
Yeah.
And that promo, like you said last night, I don't know what he was saying, but man, that holy shit is all I can say.
Well, I mean, just look at Shinsuke Nakamura when he was cutting those promos in Japanese, like, and then they were translating it, and they even had like the cool font on the bottom that was translating. I was like,
Yeah.
that was lit. But it also, he's able, I talk like this really softly and let you know that I'm that dude. But then sometimes I'm gonna get really angry because of this moment, and I'm like, yo, bro, when he says it in Japanese, it's so cool. But when they talking, and I'm not trying to say that they're not good English speakers because they're excellent English speakers, but it's like there's something about convicting emotion in the English language that sometimes kind of gets lost, but then in their native tongue, it's right there. And I'm wrapped in. The moment I hear them start talking, I'm like, bro, I don't know what you're saying. I'm involved though. I'm ready to fight some people too.
Right? Like, who we going after?
Yeah. I was like, I need you to be my translator when I go to Japan and tell people to give them a messy look. I want you to convict the emotion that I want.
Uh-huh.
But no. So yeah, no. Shout outs to Gunther for the big win. And then like I said, the little moment afterwards where like him and Randy like shook hands. Then he walked out. Um, and then I don't know. There were such a lot of cool moments. Like we aren't even talking about the Terror Twins. The Tower, is that what they call them?
The Terror Twins. I want to
Terror.
keep calling them the Toxic Terror Twins.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest finally getting their come ups on Dom and Liv Morgan.
Yep.
That was cool to see them fight the odds, even with Judgment Day coming out. I am so excited to see what we get with Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Like,
Yeah.
that's just going to be fire right out of the gate.
I like it too. You know what's funny though, and I'll ask you this question to see if you could take somebody from the AEW roster and put them in Judgment Day. Like, who are you putting in?
Oh fuck, man! Just one person,
Just one.
Brody King.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Brody King.
Brody King's a great pick. You know what's funny? Because I was thinking Pac. I was like, that's the obvious choice.
It was him or anyone from House of Black.
Yeah.
But I think Brody King would really fit that. Like, because I look at Alistair and I'm like, no, you're a solo dude. Like, through and through, you're a singles competitor. Buddy Murphy, I would honestly, Buddy Matthews, whatever you want to call him, I would totally pair him up with his lovely wife and Damian Priest. And then the odd man out in that becomes Pac and Brody King, and I'm gonna go with Brody King over Pac every time.
Yeah, I like it. That's not a bad pick though. It's not a bad pick.
Who you got?
I want to say Pac, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's just like the obvious choice. I'm gonna throw it for a loop though, man. If I'm picking someone out of AEW roster that I want to see in, let me get Leo Rush.
Ooh.
Yeah, his Blackheart gimmick is so fire.
Yes. Man, damn, I'm kind of glad I didn't think. I'm kind of mad I didn't think about that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
He's another one, man. And I don't get to watch AEW as much as I would like to, so maybe he's on there more and I just don't see him. He's another one that I feel like, damn, when was the last time I saw Leo Rush?
So he was just, I can't remember if he was on Collision or Rampage, but he was an 8-man tag because right now they got him with Top Flight.
Oh, he's with Top Flight.
He's with Top Flight, yeah. So there's like 5 of them now. So there's the brothers, right? Action, Andretti. Then you have Leo Rush and Layla Gray. Is
really?
Yeah. So they all they're all wearing like flight attendant outfits now.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, it's cool when it's cool when it's just the brothers. I don't know how I feel about like a whole group just like dressed up as like flight attendants.
It's easier for me to catch Dynamite than it is like Rampage and Collision because to be honest, I forget about Collision so much.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to figure that all out. Yeah, because one thing about those guys is that they're all super talented. I love all of them. It's just like I want more from Dante and Darius because they're so good.
Yeah.
And I don't think dressing up like a flight attendant is that move. And I get because like some people can't really get behind them because you don't really know how to like market them. But it's these two, and I'll call them what it is, 2 kids that literally modeled their game after the Young Bucks, and
it works for them.
It works for them. They're just really good at what they do. They're real, and I want to see them become better talkers on the mic, right? But and that'll come in time. But right now, man, I was like, I just want, like I said, there's so many people on that AEW roster that I just want more from, and it's going to take time. But I also don't want to take away from Bash at Berlin because we kind of drifted off track with that, which was
Totally,
what we were gonna do
totally
anyway.
did.
But yeah, no, I would definitely Leo Rush and this Blackheart character
I respect
with
that.
yeah, because I know like Judgment Day, they don't even have to do anything spooky. It's just hey yo, like Leo Rush drinks this stuff out of a heart, and he just turns full demon, like without Finn having to become the
That
demon.
just, man, I would totally be okay if Finn didn't use the demon anymore.
Yeah, and I think he's like when they brought him back and they did the match at WrestleMania with Edge, and the demon lost. And obviously, I understand things happened in the match. Finn got busted open, but it's like now you've beaten the demon twice, right? Well, both to like weird situations, right? Finn against Roman, the rope snaps,
Yeah,
like the top rope breaks, and then like he gets speared and pinned, and then he loses to Brood Edge. You know what I mean? Like, what was the point? What was the point of doing a Hell in a Cell with Brood Edge and Finn Balor as the demon? And because like we hadn't seen a demon in a long time, and then we get him back and he just loses. And I was like, well, now the whole demon thing is kind of done for me.
yeah. Moving on though.
Yo, actually, let's talk about this real quick. So I know this wasn't something we both openly were going to talk about. I think we just kind of forgot. Yo, I want to talk about Resurgence from Friday night, I think it was, with Impact TNA.
Okay.
Aisha Edwards was catching somebody in the middle of the it was Jody Threat. I think she was diving over the top rope. The girls went to catch her, right? And Aisha took this nasty bump, starched her out, like, and
So
it was crazy. It was a freak accident, right? And I remember like Jordan Grace was like trying to get the crowd pumped up because she was gonna do a dive too, and then she like runs out the ring, she stops, and then she steps out. And she noticed something wrong with Aisha, and she looks down, and the other, and, Jody was like picking her up because she thought like something was, she was like whatever, but she was limp. So Jordan, like pulled her in real close, said something to her, right? Noticed that she wasn't responding, set her back down. Yo, big shout outs to Jordan Grace for being a professional about this. But she looked right at the ref and she said something, and instantly the person from the back came out, and then they left. They left her right there, and they went around. They started working the rest of the match. But it was the situation where like her and PCO both were in concussion protocol because of what happened at Resurgence. And I just want to, I want to throw my flowers out to Jordan Grace because like that situation could have been so much worse. It could have been horrible. Also you pick her up and you do another dive and then like, nothing. It just goes back to like where I remember seeing stuff happen with like AEW, right? I feel like this show's gonna be wrapped around all that stuff. The Matt Hardy situation, right? Where he falls off, he gets knocked out, and then he comes back too, and then he's still out of it.
Yeah.
They're still trying to have a match. But it goes to that situation where, like, Jordan, being the professional that she is, she realizes something's wrong, stops, tells them, yo, we got to continue this match. You guys go find somebody else. We'll get the trainer out here. And the trainer comes out and the other ref, and they, X out Aisha, and they continue the match. But no, I want to give a lot of love to Jordan for this, because I know we get into this business because, we want to enjoy the spotlight, but then we also understand that we have to keep our opponents as well as ourselves safe. So I just want to give big loves to Jordan Grace for like just being able to stop the match and just be like, yo.
Yeah, shout out to Jordan Grace for having the awareness to not even, because like you said, you could have just thought like, okay, she's just selling or something like that, and whatever, we pick her up, and then it becomes an even worse situation. So like, yeah, definitely shout out to Jordan Grace for that, because that's
So
you're trusting people with not just their body but yours as well. So
I think we'll add a segment into this. Instead of doing dumbass of the week, we're gonna do our BAMF of the week just for wrestling. For this week, maybe that'll be something I'll convince Chaz when we talk about our badass moment or badass wrestler of the week.
That was a badass moment.
It was a badass moment. All right, we want to talk into this because there's been a lot of talk about this situation that's been happening in the shift, right? The shift and change. But more importantly, what I want to talk about is this man right here, Mustafa Ali. So if you guys don't know, Mustafa Ali just worked Sydney Akeem, aka Reggie, from and Scripps from WWE, NXT, whatever you want to call it, right? Anyway, Mustafa Ali cuts his promo at GCW's it's called Fast, I think, over in Chicago. Anyway, so pretty much was just talking about how WWE gave Reggie like the pretty much the shit end of the stick, right? They made him be a concierge or a butler to Carmella. Then they made him run around and do whatever it was that he was doing with Sasha Banks. And then he just like, they thought it'd be cool to throw a mask on top of him and, call him Scripps, right? Uh, I think when he got into OTM, we started seeing a lot of what Sydney can do versus what was being like, I guess what we saw from the main roster run, right? Because when he was at OTM, I felt like that version of Scripps or whatever Reggie was like a badass version. And I remember laughing at it at first when I saw him come out and cut this promo with OTM. It was talking about what people don't know is that I'm from St. Louis and I'm hood and blah blah blah. I was like, bro, we just saw you like speaking with a French accent and like making a fool out of yourself. What you talking about?
Right.
Like, we ain't taking you serious. But then like I watched him with that match with Jay Malachi right before he left NXT, and I was like, oh, this dude is lit. Yeah, like I don't care if his name's Scripps or not. Like, this dude is tough. And then seeing him pop up on GCW, and this is where Mustafa Ali gets to talking about it, right? He said for a while there was people that just weren't talking about GCW, but the boys would always be watching GCW pay-per-views in the back while wrestling shows were going on. But for a while they weren't talking about GCW until Sydney Akeem came along and got into GCW, and then everybody started talking about GCW. And I think about those kind of things, man. And it's like watching Mustafa Ali just have the time of his life on the indie scene, and talking about certain wrestlers in the back, and just kind of being open and transparent with everything is coming full circle, man. Because it's like you can tell he's having fun wrestling on the indie scene. You can tell that Sydney Akeem is having fun wrestling on the indie scene. But more importantly, you can also see that all the wrestlers in WWE are having fun wrestling. And where this really all kind of tracks back towards is Hunter, right? If you guys were watching the interview with Michael Cole and Randy Orton, Michael Cole asked Randy about how does this era of wrestling compare to the last era? And Randy was like, yo, this is great. He's like, I get to sit around and I get to see people be happy. He's like, creative was working smoothly. Like everybody's working together. If you got your child being born, cool, go home and be with your child and enjoy that birth. You've been working every week for 3 weeks. Cool, take some time off. Take a couple weeks off. Yeah, 3 years. Yeah, take a couple weeks off and heal up. It's so cool to be able to see that there's now an investment in the wrestlers to help make the show better, and because of that, the fans can also feel that they're enjoying the product more. And this also leads to the bigger thing, right? 55 consecutive sellouts is what we're seeing with WWE. And I think when we look at the indie scene and we're seeing these wrestlers happy on the indie scenes that are getting released from the E, right? Because they get to go wrestle and they get to have fun. Then you see more wrestlers from the E are having more time, more opportunities to showcase what they're doing. They're having fun. The crowd feels it. The crowd feels it everywhere. I mean, I know Dijak just came back to the New England area, and he worked at Chaotic, or not at Chaotic, at Beyond, and he had a match with the perfect Diamond, Aaron, and he put him over. He talked about it the next day with Chris Van Vliet. He was talking about how he had a match with Aaron, and that him and like he's like, yo, that's a future star right there, and then you can tell like these guys are happy. So is Hunter responsible for like how great wrestling is turning right now?
In my personal opinion, yes. How many times have you and Damien, or me and Damien, or all four of us talked about how for years it's time for somebody else to take over WWE from Vince McMahon. And now that we've seen somebody else take over WWE, uh, you're seeing that shift where even with like with Chris Van Vliet and stuff like that, you wouldn't see half these interviews if Vince was still in charge. So yeah, I wholeheartedly think that Triple H taking over has definitely boosted morale. It's made everybody feel comfortable being themselves again instead of, okay, I have to be this gimmick 24/7. Like, how many times would you see Randy Orton sit down with Michael Cole and actually feel like you're getting to talk to a genuine person versus a character?
Yeah.
And even going back to what you say with 55 sellouts, that's fucking wild. Wholeheartedly wild to see. We didn't see that with Vince McMahon. So, like I said, yeah, Triple H is. I wholeheartedly agree. He is the reason for this, or at
And
least a big
big chunk.
portion of it. Yeah,
Yeah. I think what I would like to see too is I'd like to see Mustafa Ali eventually make his way back to the E and just be able to light it up the way that we know. Like the man cuts amazing promos. He's doing that whole unofficial mayor of Chicago gimmick where he's like a politician. He's politicking for things. He's doing the things that people talk about behind the scenes in pro wrestling, and he's doing them.
yeah.
He's bringing them to light, and it's so cool. And I've been a homer for all of his work. Like I have been. I couldn't
Since
even
the
front.
jump,
Yeah, since he first debuted that, he leaked it out himself, and then when they brought him on to NXT, and he cut that same promo, that same style of promo at
yep.
NXT, and then he got released. Bro, I've just been a fan of that, and so to see him back doing it and just having fun in pro wrestling, I'm like, bro, I'd love to see you come back and cut the same style and just be a politician in the pro wrestling world. Like, I think it'd be great for you.
I wouldn't mind seeing that. I wouldn't mind seeing Sydney come back neither, and actually be able to be Sydney Akeem.
Yeah. Because that match on GCW, by the way, if you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. It was amazing. And by the way, to also put out there, Aaron Rourke. That's who we're talking about when it comes to Dijak putting someone over. Aaron Rourke was that person, and that match was. If you guys didn't get a chance to, go watch IWTV. Go check out Beyond's channel on IWTV, and then go watch that match with Dijak and Aaron Rourke because it was fire. Like, I don't know. There's just so much like good wrestling going on, and when talent gets released or talent gets cut, we feel bad because we're like, well, we don't want them to lose their job. But when they're happy out and working on the scene, the indie scene, shout outs, bro. Like big shout outs to y'all.
I have IWTV, and I totally forget about it all the goddamn time. Like if I'm going somewhere and I'm bored in the car, I used to put on IWTV and just listen to the fucking matches and shit. I need to start doing that again.
Yeah. Go listen to the Wrestling Open. I know that those guys love when they get to see when people get eyes on their talent and stuff like that too. So
There you go.
yeah. So yeah, and then sometimes you might catch yours truly just randomly popping up on IWTV, on at least at the Wrestling Open, or you can catch me on the last show of Focus Pro Wrestling. You can see me there too.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless plug right there. No, so what I want to talk about now, let's move this around. So we're gonna call it Around the Buckle. You guys see it, we talk about it. Just what's some news that you want to talk about that I don't really isn't talked about?
Oh man. I don't think I really have anything, to be honest. We kind of cover everything from Chris Jericho losing his mind to, Mustafa Ali and Sydney Akeem. I don't think I really have anything, honestly.
I kept calling Resurgence. It's Emergence. That's what it is for TNA.
Emergence. Okay.
Someone gonna be like, "Aaron, where's Emergence?" I was like, "I know. You have to." Now that we're way past it, that's
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody had time to
Almost 50
Google it.
minutes in, you can see that it says Emergence. No, I want to throw out one more thing too. From Emergence too, right? Was that Joe Hendry came out with the Hardy Boys, and they were doing a "I Believe in Joe Henry," and it was like, "I believe in Jeff Hardy." Like, I thought it was great. I love everything that Joe Hendry is doing right now. I know that tonight, he's gonna
That
get his
man.
one-on-one with Ethan Page, which also by the way, what another great talent they got brought into NXT. But we're gonna get this match with Joe Hendry and Ethan Page for the NXT title, and I'm like, bro, this man literally was working with the Hardys on Friday night. Now he's on in Denver, Colorado, working against Ethan Page for a WWE. Like, what is life right now with this?
See, that's another thing. Going back to what we were just talking about with is Triple H responsible for what we're seeing wrestling be like now? That's another thing. You would never, ever in the Vince McMahon era see Jordan Gray show up at the Royal Rumble, see Joe Hendry at No Mercy tonight. You would never see these crossovers. And that is what I have people that haven't watched wrestling in years go, holy shit, this is cool to see. So wrestling is awesome right now.
Wrestling is awesome right now. I don't have a bad thing to say like right now, especially. I mean, there's things that I'm hopeful for, right? We just did a whole segment about AEW and how we want to see to make it better, right? But more importantly, like when you look at the stuff that's going on with AEW or things that are happening at NXT, I know a lot of people were trying to shit on that Britt Baker Mercedes Moné match at All In. Stop it.
What did you really expect out of that match, honestly?
Like,
I know a lot of people wanted Britt Baker to win that, but
she wasn't going to.
It's not time yet. Soon, but it's not time.
I think my other problem too, right? There's nothing I can do to change this, right? It's this idea that Mercedes Moné is in the back just politicking and crushing everybody in the back, like burying all the talent. Like, you know who you are. Y'all say it all the time that she's burying this talent, she's burying that talent. I knew a person who legitimately said that Sasha Banks didn't want to work with Willow and that she was purposely trying to bury her. And I was like, that's crazy. And I'm playing dumb. How do you know this? I'm really good friends with Willow. Word.
You don't say.
Word. I was like, hold on, let me do something real quick. So I jump into some DMs. I'm not gonna say who. I'm just jumping into some DMs, and I was like, that's crazy. Literally, screenshot a conversation and dropped it to that person's DM, and I was like, yo, what you think of this? Mind fucking blown. They're like, yo, that's not true at all. Like, what the fuck is this? Yeah. So, like, for people who are out there, man, just wanting to shit on Mercedes Moné because they don't like her, that's one thing. You can say you just don't like her and that you don't fuck with her, and that's fine. But to go out of your way to try to tell other people and shape the perception that she's this terrible person, the woman literally did an interview where she put over so many women over the talent that's at AEW. So please, just chill the fuck out. Don't do that.
I think my personal favorite thing that I hear about her is the CEO is no different from the boss.
Yep.
That is because it is now, okay, yes, you get the same entrance. You get the same sort of moveset. There's some different things in there. But that is a completely different person. That is a completely different mindset. Like, you can tell she's actually enjoying this. And to say that she's burying people, she's had what? Less than 10 matches since she's joined AEW. I think it would take a little bit more matches to be able to start burying people, but like, let's be that.
If she walked in and beat every woman in less than 3 minutes, I could kind of see everybody's point, especially if it's like the first 5 people and like that. But it's not. She's put on these banger matches with these great women wrestlers, and it's like, Why are y'all just hating? Why are y'all just
Exactly. If she showed up and was giving people that NXT Asuka treatment, I would be singing a different story about this more than likely. But like you just said, she's having good matches.
and
It's not.
she's picking who she wants to work with, and she's putting those people over.
She's
Like,
earned that right.
sure, Willow lost the TBS title, but like we were talking more about Willow for the longest time, and now we're talking about Willow and Chris Statlander in
Exactly.
these matches they've had.
Exactly.
And I don't know. And now Britt is back, and now Britt and Mercedes have these matches going, these combos going back and forth. They had their match at All In, you know, and now now we're watching. We're trying to see what's going to happen next with Mercedes because they literally just came off that, and they're just having a discussion in the back. So, and I don't know. It's weird to me.
Haters gonna hate, man. Haters gonna hate.
They hate us because they ain't us.
Uh-huh. We love haters too.
We love haters too. Speaking of haters, as you guys can see down at the bottom, we have that on our ticker as well. But yo, I don't really got anything else. Do you?
No. Oh, I got one more thing. What's your thoughts on JBL showing back up?
I love
it. With Nick Nemeth.
Like Nick Nemeth, and then he's showing up at GCW.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm with
I
it.
love it. I love it. Wholehearted. I'm all for it. That man is a wrestling god.
I'm with it. I'm with it. I just love the fact that he walked in, hit Effie with 2 clotheslines from hell. Yo, I'm like, all right, we here now. This is what we're doing. I was like, let's go.
That's how you know wrestling is fun again. When you see people like JBL, who swore he'd never get back in a ring, get back in a ring.
Yep. Now he's just completing side quests. Like,
yeah, exactly.
The man's done everything he's supposed to do in a wrestling career. Now he's just doing a side quest. It's cool because Matt Cardona, legit, when he was like doing his promo, and he was in goddamn it, Jinder's face, and he was like, "Who said you can be here and do the things you want to do? Who told you could do those?" That's right, it was me. I said it. I was like, yo, Matt is on another level of holy
whole
shit,
nother
bro.
level.
I love it. So yeah, I think the indies are great right now. I think as much as we're trying to like talk about AEW, I think AEW is doing great. There's some things they can do to improve, of course. I think the E's doing great. I think Impact's doing great. I think just wrestling all together is just nice and healthy, and it's great. It's great to be a part of. It's great to watch.
I love it. It's beautiful.
I'm here for all of it. So, but no, that's everything we have here. So if you guys want to check us out, leave your comments down below, and maybe we'll reply to one or two of them. I don't know. You also could leave likes and share. So what does that mean for us? That means that you're going to check us out on all of our social media platforms up above, because you see us right here, 3 Count Pod on TikTok. You can see it on Instagram. You can also see it on Threads. You guys can also check us out on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, 3Count_pod. You check us out on subscribe to our YouTube channel. You're following us on Spotify. You're checking us out on Amazon Music. You're even listening to us on that dumb app with the stupid jingle that goes iHeartRadio. You're doing all that stuff. You even buying our merch on foryourwear.com or even on prowrestlingtees.com. You're doing all that stuff. You're telling your mom about us, your dad about us, your auntie, your uncle, your best friend, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, and your enemies, because we love haters too. You're doing all that stuff, or really you're just kind of waiting for this episode to end. You're looking at Twitch's face and you're saying how lovely he is.
I'm fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Then you wait for that outro, and you're choosing another episode to listen to.
You're going to.
Kawaii.
That's it, folks.
Hey guys, it's the host of the 3 Count, Chaz Evans here. Make sure to let you know that I don't run shit, I don't do shit, I just talk shit. And make sure you subscribe to our podcast. What else did you do? You should also follow us on all social medias. That's the Facebook at 3 Count Podcast, the Instagram at 3 Count Pod, and the Twitter at 3Count_pod. Also, if you like us a lot, you should definitely buy a t-shirt at prowrestlingtees.com/3countpod, and that's the number 3. Don't be an idiot and type in THREE, because you're not going to find anything. So make sure you follow us at 3 Count Pod or 3Count_pod on Twitter and buy a shirt. Be there or be somewhere else.